Check, 1, 2. Hello, my name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, a 3 to 4 to 100 minute or so podcast of films that I review of all nations, of all ethnicities, of all languages, from yesterday to today, good or bad. I review it. Now, I'm very happy to review this film called Manchester by the Sea. It's a pretty famous film. It came out in 2016. It's sort of like it's supposed to be a drama, right? And it deals with something that's pretty heavy. You know, a lot of people go through this. It deals with death. It deals with grief. There's dysfunction in this film, especially through families. There's depression and PTSD. And wow, this is pretty intense, right? You know, all the elements of that make up a good drama film or a thriller or a psychological horror film. But nah, man, this film has some type of black comedy to this. And as you know, one way to deal with depression or any of these things that pull us to the depths of depression, there's the one thing that gets us off that, and that's comedy. Straight up. Comedy. You know, when you're down in the dumps, if something makes you laugh, it makes you laugh, and it kind of makes you forget what you were just being depressed about. And this film kind of does it. This film's like a pill almost that pretty much tells you like, hey man, I know you're going through it. Try to enjoy something in your moment of grief and all that stuff. So I say this film's somewhat of almost of a black comedy, not a dark comedy, just a black comedy, because this film's about this dude, right? He lost his family. Well, he did lose his family in a way, right? But I'm not gonna spoil it for you. He loses his family. He gets divorced. Things have not been right since then for this guy. You know, he's just been not coasting through life, but he's just doing life, and it doesn't seem like he wants to get out of whatever is making him the way he is in this film. And this guy's name, Lee Chandler, played by Casey Affleck, who he's a great actor, man. As you know or don't know, Casey Affleck is Ben Affleck's younger brother, who to me is a better actor than Ben Affleck, but that's just me. Anyways, let's go down this list real quick, man. This movie came out in 2016, written and directed by Kenneth Lonergan, who makes a cameo in this film, which even his cameo is freaking hilarious because he's actually arguing with Casey Affleck's character about just like the typical life stuff, especially in the Manchester by the Sea area. Anyways, produced by Matt Damon, Kimberly Stewart, Chris Moore, Lauren Beck, Kevin J. Walsh, starring Casey Affleck, Michelle Williams, Kyle Chandler, and Lucas Hedges. Cinematography by Jody Lee Lipes, edited by Jennifer Lame, music by Leslie Barber. Production companies: K Period Media, Pearl Street Films, The Media Farm, The Affleck / Middleton Project, B Story. Distributed by Amazon Studios / Roadside Attractions. Yes, this is an indie film. I mean, you saw all those production companies just go together and boom, let's make a movie. And they made a movie. Budget $9 million. And guess what it grossed? $79 million. That is a lot of money. Well deservingly so, because this film's a really good film. It's a great film. It puts you in the hot seat about how to deal with death. At least one way to deal with it. And it's tough. I can tell you that. Not that I've experienced death through family before, but the way this film does it, it's pretty good. Now, I've said a little bit about the plot. So, Lee Chandler, right? He's a grief-stricken loner. He gets drunk at bars, beats people up for almost no reason, really. It's just like his way to this is just what it's his way of dealing with his what happened to him. Like he feels like he's not worthy like of life. He's not worthy to live. I mean, this man really like got away with death. You know, not that he was close to it, but he got away with it. He managed to live. He managed to escape a tragedy, right? But it's still a tragedy nonetheless. He has to basically take care of Patrick Chandler, who is his 16-year-old nephew. And dude, like it's crazy to see Lee and Patrick just together and like live life together, because uncle and nephew, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you can tell the way the character was written, Patrick's character. He's a playboy, dude. He's a high school playboy. He has two girlfriends. He's in the band. He basically kind of inherited a boat. And I mean, for a kid in the Manchester area or whatnot, you're kind of making it in a sense. I mean, you're doing pretty good, besides the fact that, your father passed away, and besides the fact that you didn't really have a mom in your life, and oh, guess what? The mom comes back in his life, or tries to come back in his life, and that scene in itself is very introspective. I like that scene. I like how it shows the dynamic that Patrick's mom has with the person that she is with, who's a very conservative Christian man who doesn't look like an asshole really. But there's a scene that pretty much kind of tells you what kind of person he is and what kind of system he has going on. And it's sad because the system that was built doesn't really work for Patrick, and it wouldn't work for Patrick. And it sucks that when somebody's not in your life and you want them to be in your life, not knowing exactly what went down, and when you kind of have a glimpse of what goes down, stuff like that can like kind of scar you, and it can kind of like damage you, and just through physical and mental, it can really get to you. Now, I like how this film touches the subject of all the things that I've just mentioned, which is guilt, depression, things like that. And there's like scenes that pretty much kind of take a jab at those things, and at the same time kind of it puts us into this journey to how to get out of these things, or show us the road, and just because you're on the road doesn't mean that you're going to be on your way out. You got to stay on the road. If you get off the road, how are you going to make it, right? How are you going to do it? There's no other road. This is the only road that you can be on, right? So it's a tough film to kind of like take in all of the elements when you suffer a tragedy, or rather when you're going through post-traumatic stress disorder. And Casey Affleck did a great job mimicking a character who's going through that, and it's strong. It doesn't seem like it's overacted. It doesn't seem like it's underacted. I think he just nails it right then and there. And there's a lot of scenes where, I mean, Lonergan gives him enough light to show that, and Casey Affleck knows how to play that real well. There's a scene between his character and Michelle Williams' character where they used to be married, and they hadn't seen each other for a while. I mean, they kind of talk, and when they do talk, you can kind of tell that they still have this. It's not a romantic love, that's for sure, but there's a respect that they have towards each other, and it took time for each of them both to kind of realize what happened and how they could have handled things differently. And it's a very strong scene because even there, like, Lee's character just he just can't get out of that funk, man. And it's not because he doesn't want to. It's it's like a moral thing where like he just feels that he doesn't deserve it, you know? And people make mistakes, man, as effed up as they can be sometimes. I mean, if your ex-wife is forgiving you about something, forgiving you, like, and she's the only person that can really kind of forgive him for what happened in their past lives, right? And he still wouldn't do it, man. And when you look at that scene, it's just tough, man, because you understand why he can't just accept it, and you understand which direction Michelle Williams' character is coming from to even to do all that, because it hurts on both ends, you know. The upside to this film, or like just like the stuff that they go through, all these characters, is that they got each other. And that's what I learned, you know, no matter what, they got each other. Like, man, Patrick does not like Lee sometimes. Like when Patrick asks him, "Hey man, can my girl stay over, or could I go over to my girl's house?" And Lee's like, "Nah, dog, it's not gonna work like that no more. You like, maybe with your dad you could have done whatever you want, but I'm not your dad, dude. Like in here, under my roof, because technically it's under my name, you gotta do what the F I say." And as much as Patrick hates it, he's got to do it. And there's this other scene too, which is so great. And it's a good shot too, where Patrick's pissed. He goes into Lee's room and he sees these 3 pictures, and we don't see what the pictures are, but Patrick sees them. And at that moment, he finally realizes exactly why Lee is the way he is as a person now, and how hard it is for him to completely turn his life around. And I like the third act. It's a pretty good third act. They do the things they say in the second act, man. Like, this is what's gonna happen. Here's our plan. It's gonna work, hopefully, and it does work. There are no explosions in this film. There's not so much of a plot. I mean, there's a twist in this film too, because we don't really know exactly what happened until Lonergan shows us the scene, right? And this is the most melodramatic scene that he puts in the film too. And I'm not gonna spoil it because it would just ruin it. But it's melodramatic because due to the music, really. And I love how the music plays in this film too. And it's interesting how what he chose for us to listen to as these scenes are going on, and it goes on from the beginning of that certain scene to the end, you know, and it's intense from beginning to end as well. It's there's very little room for us to breathe, and I'm saying that the breathing part for a reason, and when you watch the film you understand why I'm saying it. Overall, this film deserves the awards that it has been nominated for and what is actually earned, you know, like what they won. It won Best Actor, and it won Best Original Screenplay. It got nominations for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, Hedges, Best Supporting Actress, Williams. And it's great that it won Best Original Screenplay. When you look at that film and when you try to view it from a screenplay point of view, it's a pretty effective screenplay. It's a screenplay that will keep you engaged, because not only does it have drama, there's a lot of moments of comedy, of good, just good, like honestly, it's practically wholesome comedy, especially given the events that have been shown, you know, as far as tragedy is concerned. There are good moments of comedy, and the way it's set up is not even like overly dramatically set up. It's so simply set up, and it works with like the events of the film. How, you know, from when Lee and Patrick start interacting together as adults, really, you know. And that's the thing too, man. Like, this film touches on trust, because Lee didn't want to take in Patrick. And there's a very good reason why Lee doesn't want to take in Patrick. And we all know why as we watch the film. And he just doesn't feel like he's trustworthy for it. He doesn't feel like he's responsible enough for it. And it's funny because Lee and Patrick, their bond, obviously there's some trust issues, and as the film goes by, with the certain events that happen, the trust builds, it grows, it becomes strong, and it gives each of these characters a better perspective of life and a better perspective of family, period. And 4 out of 4 tokes, man. It's a great film. I actually do want to watch it again, just to watch it, just to absorb it, just to take in that New England feel of life. It's because this film is cold. It's cold. Something bad happened in this film, and when you look at the film, it's like wintertime, dude. Like, you can see how cold it is and how there's just a certain vibe in this film. 4 out of 4 tokes. Please watch this film. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. Free. An Academy Award-winning film. Free for us to watch. All you need is internet. Please watch it. Watch it with a friend, or watch it with your significant other. This is a good film to watch if you yourself have gone through some type of loss in family, or if you've gone through like PTSD. It's a good film that analyzes these things. And then, I recommend anybody to watch it. My name is Ray Salazar. Follow me on Morning Shot Films on IG, on YouTube. Check out my website, morningshotfilms.co, and sign up for the newsletter, man. I come out with products such as pins, shirts, especially from the High and Hungry series. Fucking my own version of the LA Dodger hat. I love film, so you see the little, the strip of film next to the LA. I think it's pretty cool. What have you. Check it out, dude. And obviously, I always put out stuff for people to just to look at, It's not much, but it's something to look at. And share it amongst your friends, Maybe they'll like it. Now, the film that I'm going to review after this one, well, actually, I'm not going to spoil it. It's just going to come out when it comes out. But this week is very crucial for filmmaking. It is the week of July 21st, which is actually my dad's birthday. So happy birthday, Dad. I love you. But as you know, Oppenheimer and Barbie come out this very week. Guess which one I'm going to review? Put that in the comments, please. On to the next film.